Oh hey there, if you were watching this video and know of me before, it is highly likely that it is because of this video right here. Because at the time of recording, it has 177,000 views, what the f. And if you could have guessed by my channel size, it is by far and away, by I believe 100,000 views, my most popular video, so thank you guys so much for that. And as a YouTuber, when I see big number, I see opportunity. And originally, when crafting that video, I did not mean for it to explode. Obviously, every single video, I'm hoping that it will do very, very well, but it was only meant to be a one-off thing, and I've only made other videos that I've enjoyed, which is a very healthy way to do it. But a couple weeks ago, I came up with a new idea to expand on that video. As if you haven't watched it, basically, I just added, what was it, 10 or 11 teams to the NFL, and just made concepts for them, made the city, well, not made the cities, but put them in different cities that I think that could use them. And since then, I have put them into Madden 26 through Team Builder, of course. I even changed a couple of designs based off of your guys' comments, so stick around to see those ones. And starting with the Portland Pioneers, originally this was one of my favorite team designs. I just felt that everything from the logo to, I mean, obviously Portland felt right. And I felt that Pioneers represented fairly well with Portland and at least the West Coast. And I tell you what, these uniforms are so clean. The beautiful chrome helmets with, of course, the mascot facing forward on both sides. Portland written across the chest. And again, this is Team Builder, so there are a ton of restrictions. But I like the Portland across the chest. I like the number font. And I do like how instead of white pants, it is gray pants because the main color in the logo is gray instead. So I think that's just a nice touch. And of course, all of the little details with blue and yellow as the secondary colors. And then over to the away uniforms, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's just gray instead of green, and then green instead of gray on the top and bottom. Fairly basic, but I think it works very well and could be a NFL uniform. And those are the only two uniforms that I have for this team. For pretty much all the others, I have at least 3, but I didn't really have inspiration for another one. I felt that this was really good for now. And then to the stadium, I chose the traditional stadium. Again, super restricted in Team Builder, so it's not gonna look great. But I feel like if there was a team in Portland, they should probably be an open stadium and fairly basic. I feel like that just kind of fits the vibe of the whole city. And also fairly basic field art. Of course, the Portland in both end zones and a small midfield logo. Overall, I think this is a very, very solid and very realistic team design, and I like it quite a lot. And now on to the Utah Buzzards. And of course, originally when I came up with the Buzzards name, I was kind of skeptical because buzzard is a vulture by name out there. Vultures aren't buzzards, but actual buzzards that aren't called buzzards in Utah are very popular out there. And I felt it was a pretty good name for a Salt Lake City, Utah team. And these uniforms, oh my god, they are so clean. I really like the U that I decided to put on the helmet instead of the buzzard. All of the simple stripes just make it come together so well. The numbers fit the whole scheme, and of course the buzzard on the chest and the pants just bring it all together. And then on the away, I just did the exact opposite, and I think it looks incredible. Again, it does look a little bit college-y because usually NFL teams don't have their away helmet be a white helmet, but I think it works so well here. And this is actually, I believe, probably the only other team that I did not do, that I only did 2 uniforms for, but you can still make an all-white uniform or an all-blue if you felt like it. And then on to the stadium, I used a futuristic build. Again, I'm probably not going to be focusing too much on this. I just want to show it because I feel like it fits the vibe. And I can't make an incredibly realistic stadium. But speaking of fits the vibe, for the end zones, I used the mountain template that they already had. I didn't feel like making a buzzard thing, so this is purely out of laziness. But I think it works really well. I don't think any NFL teams do a non-word, you know, Eagles or Philadelphia in the end zone. So I think it looks really, really well. And the only other major thing is that the buzzard is in the center of the field. And now on to the Toronto Beavers, the first team out of country. And I did have 3 logos to choose from here. I ended up going with, I think, just a sleeker one. It doesn't look like the AI generated one. It may have been AI generated, I forget. And again, another thing to consider while I'm making all of these teams, these logos and all of that, I am just taking from the internet, okay? I did not design any of these. I changed some stuff to make it feel better and more like an NFL team. Some of the logos are AI generated, not many. I think maybe 1 per team, and I don't usually use them. But now back to the Beavers. I like the uniforms. Again, they're simple, just nice, clean stripes. Nothing too shabby. Toronto and Beavers on the helmets, and I think that's it on the uniforms. For the away, it's the white, and then the rest is the nice tan brown that I really, really like. And then the Canada alternate uniform. I had to do it for at least one of the two Canada teams that I had, and this was the one that I went full on Canada for. And just all of the maple leaves fit so well on the jersey with the designs. This is a beautiful one. This is a once a year, and I really, really wish that we could change, like have specific fields, like so I could put a big maple leaf in the middle for when you're using these uniforms. We don't have that yet, but overall these uniforms still look so good. The Beavers Dam is a massive dome in Toronto. I feel like that fits the Toronto vibe, and just a fairly basic field layout with Beavers in Toronto on opposite end zones, and the Beavers logo in the middle. I feel like it looks pretty clean and realistic. Now onto one of the more controversial ones that you guys had many opinions on in the comments, the Oklahoma City Bison. And the only reason that it is controversial is because a lot of you guys seem to not like the fact that there is now a Bills and a Bison team. And I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, but my response to that is
I am going to remind you in advance that I'm very sorry and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving a fuck what you think.
because the bison is just such a beautiful, beautiful creature that symbolizes all of the Great Plains states, especially Oklahoma, because of all of the Native Americans that were sadly put there. But yeah, that is my reasoning for saying with the bison, this is just too cool and good of a logo. And if you struggle from differentiating between two bison logos, that is not my problem. But now onto the uniforms, I will admit that I definitely let them down. Again, in the restrictions of Team Builder, kind of difficult. I probably could have done better. But it just doesn't look great. This is probably one of my least favorite uniforms that I was able to cook up. It just doesn't look great. I don't know if it's the color scheme. I mean, the baby blue from a distance looks fantastic, but the design isn't great. I tried to, like, the only real stripe that they had that was semi, you know, a Native American vibe was this weird, like, triangular square thing. I don't really like it. I guess, I mean, it was the best I could do. No, it wasn't the best I could do. I could have done better, but I think it works. I wouldn't be happy if this was a real team, though, so, Then the away is just basically the inverse, and again, it's fine. And then the one I decided to get a little bit freaky on, it was the bison, uniform, I guess. Where I decided to put the bison head on the front of the helmet, just like, you know, the Eagles put the wings up there. And with the logo I had, it didn't work well. I probably could have done, like, the horns, but I feel like that probably would have looked a little weird. Honestly, this one is definitely my favorite of all these three uniforms, because it's just the dark brown with the nice hints of the blue, the light blue, and the other brown that I had. So honestly, I think it looks pretty good. But definitely let me know what you think about the bison being on the front of the helmet. I think it's fine. Now for the stadium, I did traditional. I mean, it could have been really any of them again. It's just whatever. I felt like it fit the vibe, okay? And for the end zones, I did a thing as the only text that I just had that was the other alternate logo works pretty well. Honestly, I feel like, I mean, it's an interesting thing to do, I tell you what. But I kind of like it with the, you know, the Oakland, with the Oklahoma and then the city in the background. I kind of like it. I definitely like it. But now for the second Canadian team, the Montreal Royals. And these guys have some beautiful uniforms. The home is looking snazzy. I really, really like the light blue for the helmet and the pants. Because, I mean, it's technically not like a white, so I think it works, though. And then the darker blue on the jersey, I think it works really, really well. For the away, then, I do use the white there. I think it looks all right. I didn't want to do a full-on, like, icy, almost icy blue away uniform because I used that on the ice alt. As you can see, I put the Canada maple leaf on the helmet, but I do like having an all ice, you know, ice coal. Yeah, I think it works. And then one of my favorite uniforms out of all of these two, oh my god, the owl alternate, as their alternate logo is an owl. It's the rice owl. I just took that right from the internet, so thank you. But oh my god, the chrome helmet, the dark blue. It takes a very, very small part of the logo in the little gems on the crown on the R, and it makes it just a beautiful alternate. Oh my goodness. I mean, this thing is so good. One of my favorite uniforms in this entire video, and I hope you could see why. And then for the stadium, I just did a traditional. I felt like one of the candidate teams had to be an open roof. I mean, I guess I could have done like the canopy, but it's Canada. You gotta have snow. Like, that's just kind of a basic. And then for the field, I feel like I did pretty well. I like the Montreal text in the end zones, and then the owls at the 25-yard lines. I think it looks good. Now for the Omaha Antelopes, and I tell you what, if there was a comment that I got about any of the teams, it would have been about the Antelopes, because everybody suddenly knew about the geography, about where antelopes come from and where they live, which I found very amazing that so many people that care about football all of a sudden had all of this ecological knowledge. That was very impressive. But my response to the fact that antelopes do not live anywhere close to Omaha is the same as the fact that I have 2 bison teams in the NFL now. Because again, the antelope, such a just incredible animal in the Great Plains. And if you want to use the excuse that antelopes don't live in Omaha, I'm pretty damn sure there's no bison in Buffalo. Seahawks aren't even a real creature, and lions live halfway across the world from Detroit, so there's going to be antelopes in Omaha. Now onto the uniforms. I think these are honestly one of my favorite. Again, I did the horns this time. Are there horns? I think, is it antlers? It might be antlers. Hold on. Wow, it's horns actually. I would have thought they were antlers. That's interesting. I really like them being on the front of the helmet. I just think it gives a clean look. I did a lot of fidgeting to find a right place for them. I think it gives a very good Philadelphia Eagles type vibe. I really like it. And the rest of the uniform, I'm gonna be honest, a little bit lame. I don't know if I like the blue. Don't know if I like the number font, but I definitely like the Omaha across the chest. Overall, I think it's a pretty clean uniform. I mean, it's only because of the helmets, really, but I like it a lot. And then the away is just white and then yellow instead. I think it works really well. A Rams-esque away uniform, but I think it works really well. And then for the blackout uniforms, I had to give one of these teams in all black uniforms, and I felt it was right to do the Antelopes. I don't know why. But for the stadium, I did, again, a open, traditional stadium. I think it just fits the vibe. I think the Omaha in the end zones is probably the most realistic and maybe best end zones of all of these. And then, of course, the antelope right in the middle of the field. And now for the Austin Armadillos, who, I'm gonna be honest, probably my least favorite uniforms. Because it's disappointing, because they were honestly probably my favorite team design, or at least concepts. And I just couldn't really fill it out in, a real uniform. Because again, I mean, I guess it just kind of comes down to the stripes that they have just in Team Builder. And it didn't really work that well. Just the colors don't work. I tried to do like a beige, tan, brown for the helmets. I don't think that worked very well. And I don't know. The numbers don't look really right. This is probably one of the best versions of all the things that I had on my screen trying to figure this one out. But I don't know if I really like it, and it's completely fair if you don't, because it's really not great. And again, the away, very similar, just fine at best, not good at worst, and I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about them. Then for one of the most questionable design choices I have ever made, I did it all brown because I tried to get like the armadillo vibe, make them look like armadillos. Did it work? Maybe. Did it not work? Probably. Yeah, you could roast me all you want about this. I don't know. I could probably make this better, but now the stadium is probably the best part about this team, as its canopy. I feel like that kind of works. The Austin in the end zones, I mean, that just works well. Also, for everybody saying that oh, Jesus Christ. For everybody that's saying I should have done San Antonio instead of Austin, they're so flippity-floppity. It doesn't matter. I didn't want to put a team in Texas. There's just so many goddamn people anyway. San Antonio and Austin could both get teams if I care. Like, it just does not matter. If I could choose, I would choose nobody to be in Texas, but when Austin's right there with such a great market, already great football fans, mine as well, right? They're just so similar in terms of choosing which one would deserve an NFL team, so I don't know, dude. And now for the final out-of-country team. I really, really like this one. The Mexico City Lobos. And, oh, these uniforms, one of the best. Absolutely beautiful. Just the chrome. I feel like when you use chrome, it can go wrong. But all the times that I've used chrome here, I think it's looked really, really good. I like the wolf logo, which is a Lobo. I'm pretty sure it was AI generated, so I mean, Then of course I did the Ciudad de Mexico text across the chest, because obviously that's what Mexico City is in Spanish. And honestly, Mexico City, I think it's, if the NFL wasn't going to go into Europe, which it highly likely is going to, I think Mexico City, it's just one of the biggest cities in the goddamn planet. And there's already a big football fan base there. I think this would be a very Jesus. Sorry, I hit my mic there. That is my bad. There's already a big football fan base there, and I think it would work well. And honestly, the Lobos, I think it's a good idea for a team. Now for the away, I did a white chrome helmet. I could see it working. I could definitely see people not liking it. I think overall it works. But honestly, just let me know what you think about it. I'm very curious on what you guys think about all these teams. But then we get to one of the best uniforms that I have made this entire episode. Oh my god, just, if you don't like this, honestly, I understand, because I did the alternate logo instead on the helmet, but it is all white, and if you look on the sleeves, it is the Mexican flag, just with the beautiful red and green, and I kind of wish that I was able to get the white down to split it up, but either way, it looks beautiful. All of the stripe with the red, white, and green. Oh my god, so beautiful. And honestly, when we get an international team, they need to have some sort of flag uniform incorporated or something like that, because honestly, the things you're able to do, they just look so good. And of course, I did Estadio Azteca, as that is the main stadium that is used for the Mexico games. This is definitely one of my questionable decisions, is the end zones. I will say I did all white with this weird little thing going around it. I thought it was unique, and I don't know. I know people are not gonna like it. I don't really like it. Just a white end zone doesn't feel great, but I think it works well with, they would have to do this for the Mexico alternates, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But either way, I think the Lobos are very realistic, and I think I did a pretty good job with designing them in a realistic manner. But now to the final three teams. Two of them I made up based off of your guys' comments. But first, we have the Kentucky Jockeys. One of my least favorite concepts. I think I was able to pull it off as a concept. But again, it's just not a great concept. Don't really like the uniforms. I tried to go like, you know, how they actually wear the uniforms in horse racing with the helmets and all that, and it's workable. I mean, NFL teams have certainly had worse, but I just don't think it works well as an NFL thing. Also, when I was recording all of these things for in Madden, I saw the away uniforms. What was I thinking? What? Why did I not just go with the white? I'm kind of confused, but I still wanted to do it anyway, because I need to highlight how odd of a decision it was to go with a skin-colored helmet and uniform. This is a kind of boring one, because I didn't have too much to go off of Kentucky. Yeah, but honestly, the field is by far the best part. It's one of my favorite ones in this whole thing, because it's the checkerboard, which is a very common design in horse racing. I believe it's most of the time like the actual uniforms, and I used that on the sideline. And then once again, I got very lazy and just put a horse in the end zone. Yeah, this, I think we just need to move on, because I made a lot of questionable decisions. It doesn't look bad necessarily, it just would not pass as an NFL team design. That's a very odd voice crack right there. But now we are on to the new teams that are completely brand new to everything that I've done before. Starting out with the St. Louis Archers. And of course, St. Louis had to get a team. I previously did the St. Louis Steamers with a steam-powered train as the mascot logo, whatever. And people definitely didn't like that. I didn't really like it when I made it. I knew that there was better options and I probably saw the archers, and I was like, I kind of want to be a little bit more original than that. But this is a design that has certainly been happened before. I'll probably be able to bring up some of the stuff that has been used in designs, and the logo that I did take from that. Thank you. It is free. Just like the many street signs that I have piled up in my bedroom behind me. But either way, I think I was able to make a really, really, really clean design with just a stretched out version of one of the other logos. I think it was like a bow with an arrow, and it just looks nice. I mean, I can see somebody not liking it, certainly. But it's just clean. It's definitely way, way different from all of the other team builder uniforms because it's an original stripe, and I think it looks fantastic. I really, really like it. I like the archers, you know, it's a play on words almost, with the arch and of course archers just being a cool thing. And I really, really like the home uniform just being in all blue, so I like it a lot. And then for the away, I did in all white, because then you can get creative in swapping the white and the blue, and I like it a lot. It's just really, really clean overall, and I hope you like it too, because I had fun making this one because it's, you know, completely original. And then of course we are at the Dome at America's Center. They would probably build something new or at least renovate it or something. But here's the field. I really, really like it. When playing the game, I tell you what, it's a very, very different thing seeing that yellow end zone than seeing it in Team Builder. And I don't know if I like it. Tell me what you guys think, because in Team Builder it looks good, but in practice, I don't know. I really don't. But I really, really like the St. Louis Archers text that I I borrowed it. And I just like all the details, and I think it looks realistic, so let's move on to probably my favorite team design of this video. As again, if you did not watch the previous video on this concept, I made the New Mexico Dukes, and it was by far the worst team I made there. The best I could come up with was an NM. That was not good. But since then, I have completely revamped the team. I decided to not go with a Duke logo because that is very, very difficult to find a good one, or even just make a good one. So I decided to make this New Mexico flag combination with a football team logo that just looks so clean. And I changed up the colors a little bit, just to stray away from the actual New Mexico flag and other stuff like that, and from the original logo that this is. But now for the uniforms, and oh, I tell you what, the consistency with these uniforms is just beautiful. I'll get to that in a second. But first, the home with the red, yellow. It looks so clean. The stripes, the New Mexico across, the chest. Oh my goodness. Just an overall clean uniform. And then the away, the exact same thing, but with red pants and then a white top, I guess. But if you are into NFL uniforms, you might know that the 49ers and Giants, they have, you know, their white uniforms that are just completely white and then red and no other color, not even a resemblance of any other of their colors. And honestly, I think it's like a realistic NFL, you know, choice. I don't know how great it looks, but honestly, in this concept, I think it looks really, really clean. You know, the no yellow is interesting, but also yellow doesn't look great on white, so I think it just works really, really well. And then the beautiful alternate, I could see somebody definitely having an aneurysm if they were looking at this too long, but it's the absolute just all red and then all neon blue that is, you know, a very common thing in New Mexico. Is it I forget why. It's a big thing in the college team and something else. Just a beautiful uniform. But now on to the Duke's Dome. Again, stadiums are not great, but overall I think it's a pretty good field. I really like the end zones with the New Mexico across it. Midfield is interesting with the neon 50-yard line. That's not great. I also don't know if I love the number font. Tell me if that is great. I don't know if it is, but I think it's all right. But overall, I think the Dukes I heavily improved from last video. That is it. That is all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was 10. 11 teams that I made. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for all of the stuff on the last video. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed making this one, so I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you next time. See ya.